Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial. This time we're doing the original Xbox controller, the Duke controller. I got this off of a Goodwill store. You can see here it cost me $3.99. However, as you can see here, it's been pretty badly busted up. So, I'll see what I can do about that. I've got some super glue, and if all else fails, I got some quick setting epoxy here. We'll see if we can repair that broken piece. But more importantly, I'll go through the steps of how to take this apart and set it back together again and give it a proper cleaning. I actually had someone ask me personally a couple of days back why I was doing these, why I was taking these pretty similarly looking devices, since all I'm doing is just taking them apart, separate the electronics from the plastics, putting it in soapy water and just drying it off. And it's true. There's really not that much to it, but at the same time, when I was first starting out, I was very unsure about what to do, and I didn't want to destroy anything. So hopefully by doing a lot of these, it'll make it you'll be more comfortable doing this on your own, because it really isn't that difficult. And also, if you're stuck, if you've taken one of these apart and you don't know exactly how to put it back together again, then maybe this will help you. So it's give you a comfort, level of comfort where you feel comfortable doing this by yourself. That's the whole point of these this series. So without any further ado, let's take the Duke apart. So we're going to need a standard Phillips screwdriver, and there's going to be a couple of screws on the back here. So just to show you, there's one here, another one here, 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 and here, and then of course you got one in the middle right there. So we're going to take those out. There you are, and you can see this piece right here which is broken, how badly broken that actually is. So anyways, let's just pop the screws out here. And I was actually not able to get this screw out, which is part of the broken piece here. So let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's done for. So let's just take this and put that to the side, and let's focus on this part here for now. You can see here that some of the pieces have kind of come loose since the whole thing's been jostled around there, but this is just to show you the inside of the front piece. So you got the triggers here, or buttons I should say, not triggers. So you got the little button mat, so we're going to just throw that in the water. And then of course on the side over here you've got the actual directional pad with its amazing texture. This is a really bad directional pad, but yeah, we'll just put that to a side right now. I'll separate that a little later, but for now let's just put that over there. And then you got the buttons, so we'll just pop those out into my hand. Got a little broken piece here, so I'll try to put all the broken pieces together so that we can reassemble that as best as possible. And then we've got all the buttons right here. So we'll just throw that in the water as well. And I think that's all the broken pieces of plastic. Yep. So let's remove this sticker. There, that's good enough. That'll be soaked in the water anyways. So, and then we can focus on the D-pad here. So we'll just separate that. I think I'll use the flathead right here. You really don't have to do this. I just want to show you the insides. So we will just take that and just pinch it so that it comes loose, and then we'll do the same for all four sides here. So you can see these little tabs right here. There's 4 tabs. You just want to scoot those back and then just very gently pop the backing off like so. Once you get more of them off, it'll become a little easier, but so we'll do this one right here, and then the last one just pops off just like that. So you got the mat here, I'll throw that in the water, and then you've got the actual, D-pad right here. But it was just kind of show you how this is all connected, and should you have taken it apart, I'll show you how to put it back together again. But as I said, it's not necessarily, important to do that. You can just as easy clean it as it is. You're not gonna do any mistakes or have an improperly cleaned unit. Oh, there's a button. Oh, there's more loose stuff. Let's just get that out of there. So we got a piece here, and we got another piece there, and I think that's all the loose pieces, at least for now. So there's another piece that's almost loose there, so we'll be a little gentle with that. But anyways, we'll keep digging into it. Now, in order to take the circuit board out of this, you're going to need a smaller Phillips screwdriver. Or, well, no, you can still actually use this one. Never tried that, so. But just to show you here, once you take them out, there's actually a nice little reference, screw indicating where the screws need to go. So that's always helpful. As for the actual analog sticks, you can just pull those straight up. And man, this has seen some wear and tear. I mean, look at the shape of that. Not to mention this one right here. So yeah, that's these have gotten quite the workout over the years. So we'll take those off and then just continue going into this. So 2 more screws right here. And as I said before, just having a pair of tweezers is super helpful. And then also just to show you, the two screws that are there in the middle are actually a little different than the other screws. So it's kind of hard to see, but basically it just has a tiny little, a little finer point than the other screws. There's also a little discoloration. The screws that go in the actual circuit board are more golden, whereas the two screws that go here tend to have a more greenish patina to them. But once you've done that, you can see on the sides here that you have the actual rumble pack connectors. So we'll see. Oh, take that, just throw away. But let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, since I wasn't able to get this screw out, that's still attached here. So let's see if we can get it out by holding it. So let's see here. So you can see that this whole thing's just been broken off. So let's see if we can get that screw out. Yep. There you go. We'll put that over there. And there you go. Okay. So basically the way that the rumble engines are put in, you can see here it's got 4 screws on either side. And those of course correspond to these 4 screw sets on each of them. So since the circuit board is laid on top, it's kind of hard to get to them with the circuit board being there. Normally I just, take them apart just by taking away the pin connector here. But that wasn't going to be possible right here, because this controller is in a really, really bad shape. So the last thing I want to do is, make it even worse. Let's just get these screws out. There you go. And we can slide this off. So, there we go. So just lift that up and slide that out. And then we can give this a good thorough clean as well. So here's that, and then we can flip that off, give that a clean, and put our broken pieces together again. Okay, as for the trigger parts right here, you can take them off, but I wouldn't recommend it. The reason being is you can see right here these little soldering points which correspond to these accelerators, and they're the ones who are actually measuring that these things are being triggered. This spins a little wheel here which then accentuates this accelerator, sending a signal that hey, someone pulled the trigger. And these things are kind of, they've been soldered at the top here. So if you take it off, there's a big chance that you're either going to break the solder, or that, somehow you'll just damage it. So as for these two, it's just a matter of doing Q-tip and a little isopropyl alcohol and you'll be good to go. So for now, we're going to just take this and put it aside and focus on the actual plastic. So take all of this As you can see here, there's a bunch of broken pieces here. Another one that fell to the floor, so here we are. There you go. And yeah, so I don't know exactly how much I'll be able to repair this because it's in a pretty bad shape, but we'll do our best. There's a bunch of pieces here. So I'm just going to put this big piece in the water, just let that soak a little bit. And then these I'm going to individually clean with isopropyl alcohol and possibly some Goo Gone, but just using a Q-tip. Actually, I could probably just use the soapy water itself. So yeah, I think that's the way we're going to be going with these. So while the rest is soaking, I'll just rub this a little bit. Man, this is brittle. This is so brittle. I have a feeling someone rage quit a game using this controller here. You know, the evidence seemed to indicate that that's what happened. So these are as clean as they're gonna get, so I'll try to put them back together again using some super glue, and we'll see if that works. So that's as much as I'll be able to put together for now. Got a couple of pieces here, but I'm going to need the actual big piece in order to figure out where the rest of these pieces go. So I'll just put that over here and focus on the rest of the stuff. And at this point, since I do have a lot of really tiny plastic pieces, I'm not going to use the air duster to clean the electronics because I don't want to lose these pieces. So I'm going to focus on the plastic pieces, and then everything that's right over here in the sink. So I'll clean all of that, dry it up, and then try to glue the rest of the pieces to the bottom and take it from there. So I will see you when that's done. Well, I've washed and cleaned everything. It's now just sitting here waiting to fully dry. So I can focus my attention on this piece again and try to see if I can make it fit a little bit better in here. So far that's looking pretty good. So we've pretty much got all the pieces, at least in this section. So I think I'll go ahead and try to glue that down. And then try to figure out where the rest of the pieces go. So this is by no means going to be a beautiful job. You know, I just am hoping that it's going to be a little bit better than what it was. So there we go. Because as long as it's functional, that's all I care about. So, because I know that this is not going to win any beauty contest. Okay, so some of the pieces go here, obviously, which is these two. Yes, okay. So that one goes down there. Okay. So the first thing I need to do with this one is piece this piece back together on it. And they're gonna go something like this, I think. Yes. Okay. So that piece is going to go that way. Okay. So get a little bit of glue right here. And then let's see here if we can. Actually, I'm going to use the tweezers for that, I think. So that is going to go on like so. Just like that. Yep. And just hold that together. This whole piece is going to go down like this. Yep. So we'll glue that. And then just hold that in place for a little bit. Let the glue set up. And then we need to find the top piece, which I am going to assume is one of these. Or not. Ah, it's this piece right here, okay. So we can glue that in place as well. And then I still got these pieces left, which I'm not entirely sure where they go. Ah, found it. So it's actually this piece right here, and it's these two cross sections. So let's see here. This one is, could it be this one? Yes. Okay. So put a little glue here. And then the last piece we'll put on the other side. And again, this is not going to be the most beautiful work ever done, but you know, going for function over form at this point. Yep, and then just let that dry a little bit. You can take some of the excess super glue right there. There we go. We got one tiny little piece left, which I have a feeling is this middle piece right there. Nope. But yeah, this little piece here, I'll just have to live without it. But you know, I'll let this cure, because I don't want to screw any screws into these holes before they've actually had time to set up properly. So in the meantime, I'll do the circuit board. And just like before, we're just going to use some compressed air. This is the Datavec electric duster, which I highly recommend if you're doing a lot of these things. But anyways, you just, you know, blast air through all the openings. Just clean that out as best as you can. There you go. And then for all the other areas, we're just going to take a Q-tip and isopropyl alcohol. You do not want to use any kind of water on this. Not because water actually, you know, destroys it. It does, but you can wash this with soap and water as long as there's no electricity running through it. But due to the inherent risk of this having some kind of charge, you can end up ruining your system. And that's why you use isopropyl alcohol. Because the higher the percentage, the less water is in there, and most of it just evaporates right away. So we're gonna just go over the triggers here because they're a little gunked up from sweat over the years of this being used. We'll just go over that. The actual electronics doesn't look so bad on this, so you know, just blowing the air is going to do most of the cleaning for you. But for actual grimy parts, you just use isopropyl alcohol. And then just go over the wet areas with the dry side of the Q-tip. Just clean up any excess moisture, and then do the same on the other side. So that's pretty much cleaned up. Let's have a look at these. Just make sure there aren't any hair or anything tangled in the actual engine here. So I'll just clean that up. There's a big hair right there actually. And then the same on the other servo. And there we go. The only thing we have to do at this point is just wait for everything to dry, and of course for the super glue to set up properly. So I will leave this here for a day or two and then come back to it. So I will see you then. Well, the glue has had time to set, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to drill into these holes because there's most likely going to be super glue in them. So just have a very, very fine tip drill, and we're just going to open these holes up slightly. Just like that. There we are. So you can see here I did get some gunk off there. So hopefully I should now be able to insert the screws, so we'll try that. Let's see if we can find any of these here. And just, yeah. So that works. So let's try to reassemble this. And I think we'll actually start with the front piece, since that's the easiest one. So we'll start with the directional pad. So we'll just take the pieces that we need, which are these 3 pieces right here. So let's see, there's a little residue left in here. This is one of the, as I told you earlier, you don't have to disassemble this, but if you put this in the water with all of the pieces, there's a big chance that you're going to have water trapped inside of this. So just be mindful of that. You don't want to cause any problems, especially when you start putting electricity to it. So we just want to make sure that we get this nice and dry. And then we'll take the little mat here and insert that so that it goes on top, just like that. And then we'll take the little ring here and just attach that to the actual mechanism here. And no, I put it in the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so don't be a doofus like me. You'll see that there's like a sleek surface, and then here you can see that the ring is actually raised. The raised ring goes down, so you want the sleek surface up. There you go. So that's the D-pad. We're just going to drop that in its hole right here, and you can see that it has a little tab right here, and that is to help it align. So you can see here that it has a cutout, and that just aligns right there in that groove. So that is easy enough. Then we'll do the rest of the buttons here, and these are fairly geniusly designed. They all have little tabs on the end, and those tabs will only go in one way. So if I were to try to put this incorrectly, it would basically pop in, and let's see, so you can see here, if I try to put it anywhere else, it's just not going to fit. The only place it'll fit is where it belongs. So that makes this super easy. And it's just working upside down. That's the problem. But that is the A button. So that, oh, of course. That goes there, huh? And then we've got X, which is there, and B, which is there. And then you also got the white and black. Oh, white and black. There you go. So we'll pop those in as well, and just like with the other two, it's just really one way of doing it. So there's really no way that you can mess this up. So there you go. And then we'll do these two. Select. Oh, just a little water there. Let me just take that out. And again, same thing. It's only one way. You can see that the buttons are, oval in shape. So when you try to put them in, they also have this little tap right there that corresponds to these two little cutouts. So again, they'll only go in a certain way, just like that. So it's, you know, it really couldn't be any more simple. Then you got the button cover here, which we're just gonna put over on this side. And you can also see here it's got a little cutout for the screw socket there. And that's it. So we'll put that to the side and then continue with the rest. And I think we'll actually start by putting down these. So now with that out of the way, we can focus on this piece. And we'll just align everything here. So we got the rumble packs. We got the rumble packs. Here we are. So we will situate those. And then screw those in place. And again, it's just 4 screws, but due to them being attached, you know, it can be a little tricky getting to all of these. Okay, so I managed to disconnect this because it was getting really difficult to screw these in, but you'll be able to see now how it's actually supposed to be when you can disconnect those. So just line up the little engine, or motors I should say, and then just screw those in place. It is a lot easier when the circuit board is not in the way. There you go. So we'll put this back over again and realign. There you are. And then we can reattach this one right here. Now, just to show you how this is actually connected, I'll use this. You'll see here it's got 2 little tracks, and if we do side view, you'll see that you'll be able to lift these up. Top piece here. So I don't even know if that is even showing, but you can basically lift up the top part here and then slide out this little locking mechanism. So if you just pull, there's a chance you're gonna, you know, tear out the soldering points. So you just want to lift these 2 flaps up while pulling this. So, you know, it can be a little tricky. Just don't use excessive force on these, because you know, you'll ruin it. So just treat it gently. And with that in mind, we can attach this. So that just goes right here. That's going to be the well, you know, we can put it there as well. It doesn't really matter, but you know. So next up, we'll take the analog sticks, and you can see here that one of them has kind of like a crosshair pattern and the other one is smooth. And as smooth as they can be, I guess, because they've seen a lot of use over the years. Someone played a lot of games with this one. But you'll just basically slide these on top of the prongs there, and the crosshair one goes on the right hand side. So I'll just put that in there, and then the smooth one goes on the left hand side. So again, we'll just rotate that until it just slides into place there. Okay, the next step is a little tricky. We're going to be attaching these two pieces. So we're going to have to just flip this so that we can get access. And then we'll just put the cord over here so that it's not going to pull on it. And to show you what we need to do here, you can see right here there's a little groove with little cutout spacers, and this thing is going to, slide right in there. And that's going to hold the cord in the correct alignment. So the first thing that we need to do is basically take this piece and just put it behind the stopper on the cord, like so, and then hold that in place. Take this piece and put it into its, you can see here it's got two cutout grooves, right here and here. That's for the circuit board right there. So just kind of start that off by putting it on there. And then we'll take this piece and try to align everything so that when we pushes in, this little square piece gets pushed into its place, leaving this piece so that we can attach that cord right here. And then just push that down. And if you've done everything correctly, you should now have something that looks like that. So the track here is, or this piece is sitting inside the track, and the cord right here is also sitting in its groove right there. Okay, so now that you have everything properly aligned, you'll have to put the bottom piece onto this, which can be a little bit tricky. Make sure that this is pushed all the way down into the socket, otherwise it's going to be really difficult. And then just try to align it the best that you can. And I find it best to do it from the top. That way you can align the holes, the screw holes together. And at the end you should be able to squeeze that in where it seems to be seamless. Once you got that, you can then put in the screws. And again, you're going to have two different screws right here, and these are the ones that are kind of a little greenish in color. And then we'll do the other screws, and again it's very helpful that it actually shows you or indicates where those screws should go. Once we have the screws put in place, we can then take the top part, and I find it easier just to flip this over and then combine them this way. You just place the analog stick so that they slide into their holes, and then just try to align everything the best you can. And let's see here, it seems pretty good. So anyway, let's try to put a couple of screws in here just to get a little bit better fit. And then for the final 2 screw holes here, I'm going to have to be really gentle since those are the broken off ones. So let's see here if we can even get these to stick, which they might not. Yeah, I was unable to get that one to actually come together right there, as you can see, but definitely feels better in the hand, and these things aren't going to be coming flying out anytime soon. But still, you know, it's not going to be a perfect controller, it never would be, but still, it's a lot better than what it was. So we're just going to finish it off with some orange pledge and call it a day. So definitely looks a lot better than what it originally did. It's still going to be broken. I'll never, you know, unless I get a different bottom case, it's always going to be broken. But it does look a lot better, and it works. The buttons are responsive, and all the analogs and, you know, directional pad, that is working as well. So all in all, you know, I'm pleased with the outcome, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching my video, and please like, comment and subscribe. Also, if you are interested in buying any of these consoles that I'm showing you how to take care of, I sell all of my consoles through my own website. I'll put a link in the description below. I will sell them through the forum, but feel free to join up on the site itself. And again, thank you so much. Also use the affiliated links down below to buy your own stuff. It really helps me out. So thank you so much.